name is Susan Tatelli, and I'm a 6th grader at Northwood Junior High School in Highland Park. When I was 2 years old, my mom suspected I was allergic to peanuts. My pediatrician suggested she give me a small amount of peanut to see what happened. We now know what a bad idea that was. But at the time, my mom did not know anything about food allergies. She gave me a small piece of toast with peanut butter on it. My mom tells me I gagged on it, spit it out, and started crying. When we changed pediatricians, that doctor ordered a blood test that day. He called her later and told her I had the highest RAST of any of his patients ever, and asked her to go to Walgreens immediately to pick up EpiPens. I am also allergic to soy and to some tree nuts, although I can eat almonds, which I love. We do not keep any peanuts or tree nuts except almonds in our house. We only eat at a few places we have carefully researched, and I usually try to have my friends come to my house instead of going to their houses. I sit at a nut-free table at school, and at the rink where I skate, everyone knows about not bringing things with peanuts. When I was little, I had an airborne reaction on a plane, and we had to make an emergency landing. I do not remember this, but because of it, we no longer fly anywhere. I also had an anaphylactic reaction in a movie theater when I was about 5, even though I was sitting on a seat cover and eating something my mom had brought in for me. I do not see movies in theaters anymore, which means I never see movies when they first come out. If we travel anywhere, we drive, and my mom has to work hard to figure out where we stay. I once had an anaphylactic reaction in a hotel room, so my mom always tells them to clean our room extra well. We try to stay with friends or family, but even they do not always really understand. People have a hard time believing I have had anaphylactic reactions without actually eating peanut. I cannot eat anything that is or might be cross-contaminated. This is especially hard at parties where I often cannot eat the cake. My mom always makes sure I have great choices from home, but it would be so nice to be just like everyone else and be able to eat the same things as my friends. And here's a fact that you probably didn't know. Recent studies have shown that more than 8% of products that have advisory labeling for peanut, such as may contain, actually contain detectable levels of peanut. Reading labels carefully is such a critical part of keeping me safe. When I wanted to go to overnight camp, my mom had to work really hard to find a place that would be safe for me. Eventually, we picked a camp in Canada that is run by a couple whose son has food allergies. The cool thing about the camp was that I was able to do figure skating for 4 hours each day, so I liked it there. But it would have been so nice to be able to go anywhere. I always carry a purse with EpiPens, Benadryl, and my phone. I know that if I have an allergic reaction, I would need to take Benadryl and administer my EpiPen before calling my mom, although I know I would want to call it first. Right now, I am in the injection phase of the PROTECT study, a clinical trial at Lowry Children's Hospital just a few blocks from here. I began desensitization on May 21st. At the beginning of the trial, before any treatment began, they wanted to see how much peanut I could eat without having a reaction. I was able to eat 25 milligrams of peanut with a mild reaction. The researchers hope that on the 21st, I will be able to eat 250 milligrams of peanut flour in one day, or about 1 peanut. And they hope that by the time I am done with this trial, months from now, I will be able to eat 2,000 milligrams, or about 8 peanuts. That's real food. My mom says she cannot wait for me to try a mini Reese's peanut butter cup. Being in this trial is a huge commitment. I miss school and sometimes my extracurricular activities, like skating and soccer. I'm a good student, so it's okay to miss some school, but I like science and English classes, so I'm actually missing something I like when I go to the trial appointments. Also, I won't be going to overnight camp this summer because of the trial. That is okay with me. This is more important, and my mom says I can take lessons with special skating coaches instead. The injections hurt, and I do not like having my blood drawn. My mom always tells me not to look, but I usually do. It's hard not to, and I don't think not looking would really make a difference. Also, the day of the food challenge was scary. Having an anaphylactic reaction is terrible. Just imagine not being able to breathe and not knowing for certain that your medication would help. The day of the food challenge, I had a delayed anaphylactic reaction and ended up having to self-inject my EpiPen in the middle of the night. It took me 2 tries to get it right. I hope that after I'm finished with this trial, I can be able to eat some amount of peanut and that I can be around people who are eating peanuts without risk. I want to travel on an airplane to places where I'll get a stamp in my passport. I want to go to Greece, Egypt, and Spain. I want to be able to go to the movies with my friends on my own and know that I will be okay. I want to see movies when they first come out in the theater instead of having to wait until we can rent them. I want to sit at a regular lunch table at school. Maybe I won't even have an allergy plan someday, although I think that might be a while away. I'm looking forward to trying new restaurants. I've never had Indian or Thai or Chinese food. I want to try it all. I want to be able to try samples at the Whole Foods and Mariano's and Caputo's cheese counters. My parents say they want me to have a more free life, to not have to worry about invisible dangers. They say that life, especially being a teenager, is difficult enough without worrying about whether or not there's peanut around. They say it would be truly incredible to do even some of the things I dream of doing. I'm very serious competitive figure skater. They don't know if I will ever have the chance to travel internationally to compete, but if I do, we do not want my allergy to hold me back. None of this work could be done without FARE. Some of you may know that for years I have done a readathon to raise money for food allergy research. That's how important a cure is to me. The clinical trials that FARE supports can help a lot of people in a lot of different ways. This is not just about me. It's about all the people living with food allergies. And I know this could be a huge step towards a cure. I am thankful for the opportunity I have and for my parents' willingness to let me do this. I know there are some families that are too afraid of the risks, and I'm glad we are not like that. I want to be a part of the cure, and if everyone gives what they can, we can all be a part of the cure. There are envelopes at your table. We hope you will pick one up and make a contribution to support the important work of FARE. Our volunteers will be circulating throughout the room to pick up these envelopes. Thank you so much for your support. It is now my pleasure to introduce the doctor who is doing so much for me, for my family, and for other kids with food allergies all across Chicago. Here to tell us more about FARE's work is Dr. Jackie Pongrasic.
Thank you so much, Susan. That was incredible. Researchers around the world are grateful to families like the Tatellis who make an enormous commitment and sacrifice to participate in these clinical trials. The emotional burdens are enormous, both on the patient and the family, as you just heard. We owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to the families who make our work possible.